Hey guys, big news. I mean major news. That $100,000 government cash grant, it's coming. And that's according to reports, which states the Committee of Supply recently approved $72.5 billion in funding for this grant. According to Prime Minister Mark Phillips, a total of 716,261 persons are expected to benefit. Just simply amazing development, right? I'm honestly happy for every single Guyanese who will benefit from this one-off government cash assistance. But if you're like some of those skeptical Guyanese, you're asking this one major question that has been overlooked. When? When will you be getting your $100,000? That's of course provided you meet all the requirements to receive this large sum of dough. And by that I mean you must be a Guyanese citizen. So don't think because you cross the border, you're going to get this $100,000. So you must be a genuine Guyanese citizen. And you must be 18 years old or older. Speaking of which, since when Guyana has 716,261 adults who are legitimate Guyanese citizens and are eligible for this $100,000 grant. Don't get me started on that census, which is way overdue. A real census that is published for everyone to know how many people live in Guyana actually, and how many are actually legitimate Guyanese. We have to ask this question due to the influx of foreigners into the country. Is this a padded list? Does this number truly reflect the amount of legitimate Guyanese adults in Guyana? Which brings me to another point. I don't believe I saw anything that said Guyanese living overseas can also benefit from this cash grant, so long as they still have their Guyanese citizenship. Because y'all already know, those Guyanese living overseas, they love to fly back to Guyana to get their cash grant. Hey, they gotta do what they gotta do, because I'm telling you, it's not all bed of roses and peaches and cream in the United States and elsewhere, as some Guyanese will try to make you think. Okay? Why else would you fly home, book a whole ticket to go and receive $100,000? It probably costs just as much to get to Guyana. Anywho's, let's move on, because that's a story for another day. Yeah, I'm calling out Guyanese today. Whoa, 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 whoa. Getting back to the $100,000 cash grant, here's what we know so far. The government expects to begin handing out the moolah shortly after the 2026 budget is approved. This announcement was made recently in Parliament by Prime Minister Mark Phillips.
Could the honourable member state when would the disbursement begin?
Mr. Chair, we are at this phase where we have a budget. As we pass this budget, the Ministry of Finance will start the preparation for the disbursement of this money, and the people of Guyana will be duly informed.
Y'all see that parliamentarian was waiting to ask this question. When are Guyanese going to get their money? Stop telling us about all these other stuff. Anyway, the big question now is, why no date? It's not going to take all year to approve the budget, right? They already have the funds. Check. In fact, $72.5 billion in funding has already been set aside and approved for you and other Guyanese to get their cash. Now we're hearing statements like, shortly after the budget is approved, immediately after the budget is approved, and this one, as early as possible. What is early as possible? That could be anyone's guess. Those are strategic words with no clear commitment to when this money will reach the hands of Guyanese. Just a reminder, you are watching the Final Takeaway podcast, and we are talking about this $100,000 K, which no one is clearly saying when it will be paid. Don't tell me we're going to play games again, like with the $200,000. You know what I'm talking about, right? That money which was promised in grandiose style. A promise that might have been made to entice voters to vote a certain way. And now, nothing. Radio silence. No apology. No real explanation. That's what you get. That's what you're getting from your government. Not even an iota of an apology to the people who were misled into thinking they were coming in for a bright Christmas in 2025, as was advertised in 2024 and repeated on the campaign trail in 2025 by you-know-who. Can we quit playing with the emotions of Guyanese citizens already? But I suppose, as some say, you're still getting something. $100,000 is better than no money at all. But for others, it's the principle that matters. When a government makes a promise like that and doesn't follow through, it causes confusion, suspicions, and questions. Naturally. And do you know why? It cuts to the issue of trust in powerful individuals and their respect for the people. Do they even take the citizens seriously? It's no different from like dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit and not giving the rabbit the damn carrot. It's like future faking in some sense. Some people say the $200,000 was watered down to a mere $100,000. But I want this to be your final takeaway, if nothing else. And it's all about the numbers, and numbers don't lie. First, let's talk about the $200,000 cash grant promise. That cash grant was intended for every household in Guyana, okay? On the other hand, the $100,000 cash grant that we're talking about right now, that has been approved to be handed out sometime this year, that cash grant, every single Guyanese 18 years or older stands to benefit. Not $100,000 per household. $100,000 per every adult person in every household. Let that sit for a moment. Let's say your house has 3 to 4 Guyanese adults. Right away, we're looking at $400,000 for your household. Together, the financial benefit to all eligible households may be far greater than if each individual household only collected $200,000. Now tell me if my math is mathing or it's not adding up. But it still may come down to $200,000 per household, since many Guyanese households consist of 2 parents and children under 18 years of age. Either way, the government did the math, and it realized that it's more cost-effective to scratch the $200,000 cash grant plan and to go with this one. What are your thoughts on this so far? Now, I saw a lot of comments on social media where people are saying things like, $100,000 can do. All the oil money we making, what happened? The ice pass we man. I get it. I really truly get it, guys. I feel your pain and your frustration. The cost of living is high in Guyana, despite having a booming oil industry. I saw and I've experienced this firsthand. I experienced how quickly I burned through $500, which is equivalent to around 100,000 Guyana dollars. And I experienced that when I visited Guyana last year. So I understand, I get it. You might get more bang for your buck in the United States with $500 US or the equivalent of 100,000 Guyana dollars. Of course you can't spend Guyanese money in the US, but you get my draft. As someone who preaches about the benefits of gratitude, I know that $100,000 is better than $0. If you're one of those who still feel thankful despite, drop me a line in the comment section. And if you're on the other side of the fence, meaning that you feel handing out $100,000 is an insult to Guyanese, then I would also love to hear from you as well in the comments. Guys, the final takeaway is this. The money is promised. It has been approved. The only thing is, when? Why haven't they set a date yet? What's the mystery about? There's only 365 days in the year, so it's not rocket science. Just pick a damn date and stop leaving Guyanese in suspense.